On the gaming savannah, there are some who prey on strong IP and hunt it down to destroy it. This wild Bethesda has found its next meal, a healthy Wolfenstein franchise. Its main focus is to make a game none of the fans asked for and destroy the franchise beyond repair. A perfect hit. This is sure to kill it.
Hey, Bath Brain.
Shut up. Shit for brains.
Go away, loser fruit. That's so dumb. Guys, we're trying to show you how it is to be brothers or sisters and you're, paying each other out because Wolfenstein, they do it so well. I'm blown away by the writing. You just feel like you're around two sisters on a couch. Whoa, that escalated I love
quickly.
this opening. We are keeping this opening.
So, Wolfenstein Youngblood came out. I was actually looking forward to it. Tweeted as much. I liked the last one, even though it had some problems. Sam loved the last one. It was one of the very few games he's actually played.
Exactly,
so
people.
We had very high expectations for this. Wow.
Very
bad.
Wow, yeah. Look, let's just get the drop out of the way. Make sure it's 10:01 for those ads. And let's tell you why this is absolutely horrendous.
Nice, Sam. Well delivered.
I thought so too.
Oh, dear God, no!
Okay, so guys, so where do we start? I'm just so disappointed with this. I was the whole weekend. It felt like a mountain to climb every time you logged on and played this horrendous game.
Yes.
The story. Okay, the story. Now, if you go back to 2017 Wolfenstein, that was one of the... for me, it was a fantastic story. Every 20 minutes, a new, really strong beat entered, and you're like, whoa, cool, I'm totally into this again. There was twists and turns, and just... It felt so well put together, and there was a passion to that writing that you really loved.
There was, and many people in fact, felt that there was too much story. They felt like, listen, you've turned this into some sort of Tarantino movie. It's no longer a video game. There's not enough shooting of Nazis. There's all just this artistic, movie style storytelling stuff. I get that. That's fine. I understand that. I agree in part, but what I really enjoyed that a lot. I loved the way they were telling that story. I loved the plot beats. I love the characters. The characters in that game were so good as well.
Yeah.
Such personalities, so many interesting things to say. The way they were combined in that submarine, it's just awesome. The party scene, remember that party scene in there?
Yes, of course.
Where they just fucking got loose. It was great,
Yeah. And also the Hitler scene. That was probably one of the best scenes I've ever seen in video games.
It was very good. It was very
and
good.
just to see that level of quality in terms of narration, telling you an actual great story, I was extremely excited for this. This game drops. I was blown away. Not in a good way. Not in a good way.
So first of all, on the story, there's basically no story in this game. It really is no exaggeration to say BJ goes missing, girls decide they're going to go track him down, it's his daughters. Some stuff happens. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's honestly, I'm not going to spoil the one or two things that actually do occur, but it's so minuscule. It's so nothing.
You can
it's
actually,
oh my, wow.
Yeah, you can plot it out in no more than 3 or 4 beats.
Yeah,
it's honestly that much. This game is only about 10 hours. Now, this isn't going to be a spoiler review, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay, cool. But it is so filled with just garbage nonsense that you literally, when you'll take a quest, you are so not invested in this world, in this story, because they didn't set up correctly, that you just walk away. You're not wanting to even care. And every other cutscene that comes along, apart from 1 or 2, it's mostly just cringe fest.
The cringe.
The detachment of what you've experienced from previous Wolfensteins to this, you're like, what have they done to this?
Well, I guess it's just up to us then.
I say, what time is it? I think it's time for Arthur and Kenneth to illustrate this sticky wicket.
Fuck yeah!
Cast it into the fire!
Everything just feels so alien, cringy, and
You're just saying that because they're women.
Because they're 2 women people.
I got actually called a misogynist Nazi.
Yeah,
unironically, I got called a misogynistic Nazi on Twitter last night because I said I didn't like Wolfenstein Youngblood. Okay,
and that's an important thing. Look, it could have been. I think the big problem with the story here is they've put 2 characters in that really are going toe-to-toe with the protagonist that we all know and love, BJ, right? Now, the problem with that is they do not in any way, shape, or form have the same charisma, the same gravitas that he does. It could have been two guys or two... It could have been two brothers or two sisters. It's not the gender thing.
But I don't even think it's about having it's just about the fact that they're badly written and annoying, like teenage boys.
Yeah.
They're like little 12 or 13-year-old teenage boys. I would hate them, whatever gender they were.
Doesn't matter
it's
what
just,
they are, yeah.
It's just badly written dialogue that you don't want to hear any more of.
These Nazi assholes did not expect the Blazkowicz sisters.
Totally, dude.
Oh, terrible. Just terrible. You know, they seem to get worse every year.
It doesn't invest you in the character. It's just the worst. Like, I honestly pray for retcon. I just pray that these characters are removed from the series in the future and we don't have to see them ever again.
Yeah.
That is how strongly I dislike these characters.
I really look at this in terms of story, and I think they've Metal Gear Solid 2'd it, or they've tried to, in terms of take the main character out, put someone else in, or maybe a couple of people in, like the sisters. And I thought it was going to go down that route of let's build the legend of BJ. You know, the whole let's put him on a pedestal and let's talk about his, you know, war stories and all this kind of stuff. That barely occurred, and this whole it just failed on so many levels to actually implement two characters that you've never known before and make it interesting enough. It just felt like the whole thing should have just had BJ again. Like, that's all I wanted to see. You know?
Okay, so story sucks. Let's talk about gameplay. Let's talk about the world design first. Okay, so the way it works is that you are in Paris. It's sort of like this overworld, open world. So this is the first time Wolfenstein goes like semi-open world, except it's not really
like a hub world.
It's so tiny, this little map, by the way. Like after the first 2 hours of playing it there, you've seen everything.
And you're doing the same, like you're doing shit in the same mission areas.
Yes, the rhythm is go to the catacombs, which is where all the NPCs are, talk to them, they'll spout out some really boring, nonsensical, sort of like pointless dialogue. You can't even pay attention to it, it's too boring. Like, it's honestly hard to pay attention to it. Then you go up and they're like, go kill this engineer, fine. You go to the streets of Paris, kill an engineer in some certain spot, go back to the catacombs to hand it in, get another quest, get sent back to the same place that you were just a second ago to do almost the exact same thing. That's the game for like 10 hours long.
And they also like throw in like whole like, you know, put a car bomb or something, or just kill a high profile scientist, like just to fill crap, you know.
It's
just to make you go back to these same areas and do the same shit. And you're right, after 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, oh my god, I've done all these areas. Like, why am I going to be here now for the next 4 or 5 hours just doing this kind of crap? So in terms of environment, it did feel lazy, and it did feel very reuse assets in terms of like everywhere you looked in that kind of Paris area, apart from going, you know, underneath in certain other stages, it just felt like I was looking at the same shit all the time.
It did look really pretty though. I think this is like the one thing I can say about this game that's good is like the graphics. They're nice.
Sure.
They're the same as we saw before, but they're still nice, you know, and if you like a pretty game, this is it, I guess.
Yeah, but Wolfenstein New Colossus also had that pretty feature, you know, when you're in there looking at the fair, why people are going past. Like, this is not a new element. It's not like a new thing that they've brought in and oh, okay, this is a new way to experience Wolfenstein. We've already seen pretty stages before, so I just look at this and go, environment also was a bit of a downgrade for me too.
Yeah, I think the biggest frustration though was just the core gameplay loop and the RPG mechanics that have been shoehorned in. So now, I mean, there were some like spongy enemies in the previous Wolfenstein games, like armored Nazis or whatever, but they just dial that up to 11 here by basically making almost every enemy having some sort of armor. And they have a lot of it, by the way, so they're just inherently very bullet spongy. Everywhere you go, enemies are bullet spongy, right? They also have a specific type of armor that's denoted by a little white square above their health,
That's right, yeah.
or a little white like rectangle above their health. They basically look the same. In the heat of a firefight, to expect the player to look at those little health bar things and then check their weapon. What am I using? Because each weapon has its own little bullet type as well, and then match those up all the time and constantly switch back and forth between weapons. So infuriating.
Yeah,
so infuriating.
I find that, look, it's okay if you want to have bullet spongy enemies if there is a reason. If the AI is intelligent enough and engaging enough that, you know, every time I jump back into a fight with that, it's a good 3 or 4, you know, maybe a minute or two battle that every 5, 10, 15 seconds, something new and stimulating is happening. But with these enemies, they just stand there. They might charge you ever so often, but they just stand there and just come closer to you. That's all they do. There is nothing that really makes you go, that was a really interesting fight. I'm glad I did that. And then it's just horrendous. And not to mention, I'm just lost for words how annoyed I am because I really loved New Colossus. I really did. But the ammo economy attached to the bullet sponginess is ridiculous.
So
the amount of
bad.
times you're just wheeling through your weapons going, I'm out of everything.
Yes.
This, you know, the whatever its sister's name is dying.
Yes.
This is just an absolute mess. And, oh god, you know, it's
So
annoying.
we should also make a warning. So we played this game solo because we tried to play co-op. It just straight up didn't
couldn't
work.
get it- we couldn't get it working.
We tried. We did all sorts of troubleshooting. We did everything. Didn't work. So anyway, played solo. Do not ever play this game solo. Your AI companion, it's the worst implementation of an AI companion I've ever seen in a video game.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to prop her up. You have to keep resurrecting her or it's game over, right? So she'll stand out in the middle of a firefight, boss, and just constantly die. And you can't leave her to die. You need to run over to her while this giant Nazi robot is on top of you about to stomp on your head.
Yeah.
But you have no choice. You have to go and stand under that Nazi robot because the game mechanics make it so. So it's crazy bad.
And they also do this the res loop. You go and res them
yeah.
because you've had to run out in the middle of the field, you die, then she reses you, and then she's dead. And you just keep doing this whole resing circle because she's died in the worst position imaginable.
She also just bugs out a lot as well. Like, this is actually what happened to me on my very last attempt of the last boss, where I just, quit the game at that point. I'm like, no way am I wasting any more time on this garbage. I literally died. I was about to kill the boss. I'm standing underneath my AI companion, spamming the spacebar, please res me. And she just stands there, just doing nothing. And then she dies, and then it's a wipe. And get this as well. Not on the last boss, but on every other boss, but the last boss, if you die, if you wipe, you have to go back to the very beginning of the level. 30 minutes or 40 minutes of clearing a level, gone.
Nothing worse than resing, and then you're waking up and you're like, I'm in this goddamn metro place again, and I've got to walk up and do the whole goddamn thing again. I don't know if it's laziness on their part or just, a lack of understanding of checkpoints.
They were like, we're gonna make this the Dark Souls of Wolfenstein games. That's what the devs were saying. They're like, this is how we're gonna make this hard.
Well, it definitely it didn't work.
It was look, just basic quality of life things. Believe this, you cannot pause this game while you're playing it. There's no pause.
It's always online.
Solo, even solo, no pause functionality. There's no map in this game. Oh my god, you've made an open world game with a map with quests and stuff and icons everywhere and whatever else, but no map. There's no ability.
I pressed every button on the keys thinking
no
I missed the tutorial of where the fuck is the map? What's going on here? And you gotta look at that stupid thing in the corner all the time. It's good that it's there, but my god, you do need some way of understanding where the hell you are in this world.
When you start a mission, you cannot leave the mission. As in, on some of them, I would say. For instance, on the last boss, I was on him and I was like, I'm too low level. Because level getting's a thing, by the way. I found out that I was too low level for the boss halfway through the boss. And I was like, I'll go grind some side quests. No, you won't. Because you can't leave that boss battle. You are stuck there no matter what. It's just a zillion things that you just how did they get this so wrong?
Yeah.
How did Machine Games, who made this great series of games, working with one of the most beloved IPs ever, managed to fuck it up this badly?
Yeah, and and also in terms of the villain itself, you're not even really sticking around for that because look, there are one or two good cut scenes when it comes to the villain. Fine, okay, I'll definitely give it that. But then apart from that, really, there's no depth. You don't know really who he is, where he's come from, what's his significance, and you do not find that out. And look, it's just such a disappointing game. And if I really was to sum it up, I feel like it's lost its soul. It feels like it's this soulless, cheap, it's just, their poor attempt of, trying something new is all well and good, but make sure it's backed with a firm understanding of how that's going to resonate with your core audience. And I think that this is just the best way, as you've said in your review, to actually just piss your core audience off. Give them something they never asked for. We're not talking about, making a female protagonist. It doesn't matter about that. It's about the way that you actually put these characters forward. And the way they've done it is so cringy, so alien to what you expect from a Wolfenstein game, that every single 5 seconds you're like, oh, yuck, I don't want to hear any more of this game because it's just not what I wanted.
It's like Red Dead Sadie. You remember Sadie from
Of
Red
course,
Dead?
yeah.
Everyone's like, I want a Sadie spin-off game. Everyone
She would
loves
be fantastic.
Sadie
She reminds me of the Woody's
great...
Roundup girl.
She does.
What's her name?
Forget
Jessie.
now.
Jessie, yeah.
She's awesome, right? And she's so well written. I could give you a list of 30, 40, 50, 100 well-written female characters, right? It's not about the fact that they're women. It's about the fact that they're shit characters and this is a shitty game, right? That's it. We didn't mention the microtransactions. They're also there. I suspect that's the #1 reason this game exists, just to sell microtransactions. They are optional, but you can buy like skins for your weapon and your character. Why you want to do that, I have no fucking clue.
Sure. Look, I mean, with the microtransactions, thankfully, I didn't feel like, I felt like the currency was quite readily available, so I didn't feel like it was a big problem for me. Having said that, a single-player game, why are you even going down that route and putting them in there?
Crazy.
We've said that before, but like, thankfully, it wasn't something I felt like it was a necessity. But
This is like a 3 out of 10, man. I promise you that. Like, this is a legit 3 out of 10. Steer clear of this game. It's even on sale. It's not like How much do you think this game is worth?
Okay, yeah. So this is our new segment. How much is the game worth?
How much is this worth, Sam?
Okay, I think Halo 2 is worth $200. I think this is probably worth. Honestly, I'd pay $7 on Steam for this. I would pay $7.
You would have to pay me, honestly, I said this on stream, $1,000 to play through this game again. Honestly, if you offered me $500 to play through it again, it's a 10-hour game, I would say no. Because I'd be like, I value my 10 hours too much. No, thank you.
Yeah.
$1,000, negative $1,000 is what this game is worth to me. It is the worst.
It's not great, guys.
The Worstenstein.
We look. Oh, okay, fair enough. That's pretty bad, but we'll stick with that. But guys, we will look forward until the next review where there's a female protagonist. We can tell you how much we hate it. But anyway, guys, that is it. Thank you so much. Love you, appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow, I guess, with other stuff.
Fingers crossed.
Who knows? See you, fam.
Goodbye.